Thanks and welcome to join me on the 6:15 News. I'm Kejang Henry. Today we begin with our top stories. Horror across Mabanda Douala after 2 children died of suspected food poisoning after consuming food in Douala. Their 23-year-old aunt and nephew, who is 9-year-old, are still in coma. And of course, tension across Nigeria as general elections come up on Saturday, February 25, 2022. Borders sealed and the diaspora have been disenfranchised for the voting, with 3 candidates on pole position. Those were our top stories.
Canal International. Canal International.
You're welcome to join us. A family in Mabanda Douala, that is in Bunaberi Douala, is still in very difficult times following the death of 2 of their children who consumed a pot of beans, is allegedly to have been poisoned. But their aunt, who is 23 years old, and her 9-year-old son are still in a very comatose situation. Gladys Ambo says the investigative team of the gendarmerie have been uncovering the situation.
This is the pot of beans from which the children and their 23-year-old aunt had served themselves after returning from school on Thursday, February 23, 2023. The children were rushed to the Lakentini hospital after complaining of stomach upset. Upon arrival at the hospital, the 23-year-old girl died. Her 9-year-old nephew could not respond to treatment and equally died in the wee hours of February 24, 2023. The family and neighbors in Mabanda in the Douala 4 subdivision are unconsolable. According to family members, the mother of the children, who had prepared and eaten the food before leaving in the morning, reportedly complained upon her return of an awful taste and odor when she was about to take same food for supper. It is, however, not clear what must have transpired within the day. The 23-year-old girl, while feeling pains, had sent a text to her friend expressing worries over the food she had eaten. A neighbor to the family, shocked by news of the death of the 2 children, lamented they did not merit such a barbaric act from whoever might have allegedly poisoned the food. We are always together with the children when they come back from school. They play around and study with children of this other family close to their house. It's really unfortunate. One of the children is still at the Lakentini hospital receiving treatment. Their parents are said to be traumatized by the incident. The gendarme officers who were alerted arrived at the scene to take stock of the situation and have opened investigations.
No, very unfortunate. Thanks, Ambo Gladys. All the stakeholders of the upcoming senatorial election slated for March 12, 2023 have been having consultation meetings in Yaoundé to prepare the grounds for the process. And of course, as campaigns will flag off tomorrow, Haisincha says that the stakes are very high.
As campaigns ahead of the March 12 senatorial elections kicks off this Saturday, stakeholders must remind themselves of the role they have to play at each level of the process. The consultation meeting this Friday, February 24th, brought together ELECAM officials, party representatives, the civil society, administrators and others as they seek for a credible, secured, inclusive and peaceful elections.
The objective of this meeting is to promote dialogue and social consensus among actors of the political process. Our ambition is to make sure that at the end of the process everybody is satisfied and that there is no room for accusations of fraud or electoral malpractices.
Some opposition party leaders have tasked Elections Cameroon to adopt stringent measures against individuals and structures violating the laws of the process.
There are actors that didn't want to respect the law. We came here because we believe that Elekam is able to do his job. Elekam is able to call for sanction against political actors who doesn't want to respect the law.
And talking about the inclusion in the process, persons living with disabilities have lauded strives by the electoral body to address their challenges.
We could see on the table some document in Braille, what can really help person with visual impairment to participate at the same level with others. This is very interesting for inclusion. We just want to encourage others to follow this interesting example of Election Cameroon.
The session, chaired by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, also had as objective to review the data on candidates for the senatorial elections.
Of the senatorial election, the national chairman of the Social Democratic Front, Nijan Frundi, says Elekam should make sure it ensures all the actors are safe before the exercise, dismissing claims on the grounds that the grounds have been made safe for the elections. Now he caught up. Hysen Chair caught up with the national chairman of the Social Democratic Front, and this is what Nijan Frundi had to say.
Attacks from Amber have been abducted several times. They destroyed my property. They stole all my animals. They did everything. And of recent, just about 2-3 weeks ago, they threw a grenade in my compound and shattered my old vehicles. And they came out with an article analyzing what they've done. And on that article, the first is that they've succeeded in destroying the SDF. And with all these actions from the Amber, I've not heard anything from Elekam. Because Elekam is supposed to look into all these things and find out what is happening on the field before you come out to say that the field is ready for elections.
Nijan Frundi there talking after the meeting. So meantime, the National Communications Council has urged media practitioners to remain very objective in reporting the senatorial election. Joe Kalabopsi, the head of that organization, met with media practitioners, and in a press briefing, this is what Hysen brought back.
Before the men and women of the press, this Friday, the president of the National Communication Council, Joe Chobonko Kalabopsu, and his council members reminded the fourth power of the major role they have to play prior to the upcoming elections.
Media impartiality, objectivity, and professionalism contribute greatly to the transparency and fairness of any election, and also in reducing tension.
The major watchdog urges reporters to uphold the virtues of professionalism and balance in compliance with electoral laws, safeguarding freedom of expression.
You have a crucial role to play in ensuring that the public's right to information is upheld during the election period by providing accurate, thorough, and rigorous information to the public, giving a voice to various societal groups, providing information on the electoral process, analyzing the issues at stake in the election, expressing the views of political parties and candidates, and observing the electoral process and its possible flaws.
And with regard to the boiling socio-political issues in the country, the National Communication Council calls on journalists to desist from social media misleadings, play the role of reporters, not judges, and stick to the basic approach of gathering, processing before dissemination of information.
Sports FENASCOB games for the Wuri division have wrapped up, with eyes now focused on the regional level. In fact, this is an opportunity, as Morindi says, to scout for talents and prepare them for future competitions. Morindi report.
It was a moment to celebrate the virtues of sports and promote the Olympic values of fraternity, unity, peace, tolerance, and fair play among the students in the Warri Division. It's the divisional finals of the FENASCO B Games holding at Government High School Mongo Joseph. Besides other sporting disciplines, a football match between Lycée du Mongo Joseph and Lycée Aquanor, an encounter that pulled a lot of people who thronged to watch the budding athletes. At the end of the encounter, Lycée Mongo Joseph emerged victorious, picking a ticket for the regional competition to hold in Kongsamba. FENASCO B Games national finals will hold in Garua, North Region of Cameroon, while FENASCO B Games national finals will hold in Garua, North Region of Cameroon. Teachers and sports instructors are satisfied with the entire organization.
Now that the challenge has been won at the divisional level, we are looking forward to the regional finals, which will be held in Kongsamba. Why not? The national final that will hold in Gashiga.
Sports instructors and organizers of FENASCO B Games say it's an opportunity to scout future sports talents.
Children are being encouraged to continue to mix up their educational prowess with this one of sports. They should, with that, there is national integration. They love one another because when you do sport, you don't know whether this one is Anglophone or Francophone. You don't know where they come from. And that is a language we all should speak.
This year's edition was marked by innovations in terms of organization under the chairmanship of the divisional delegates for secondary education. A lot of progress, the claim has been registered for the Games, which now occupies an important place on national sports games.
Thanks, Maureen D. Close to 80 million Nigerians will go to the polls for the general elections, which will see the election of the president and his running mate. And a few hours to the expected highly contested election, dissenting voices are asking the question why their diaspora has been disenfranchised in this election. Maureen D went around some of the areas where Nigerian nationals are in Douala to find out their expectations ahead of such election.
Nigerians living in the diaspora can't cast votes to elect new president come Saturday, February 25, but remain committed to change. Though busy with their spare part businesses at the popular Kamiabasi neighborhood in Douala, Cameroon, these Nigerian nationals have their ears on the ground with happenings around general elections back home to elect the president and vice president, members of the Senate and House of Representatives.
We are happy to hold another 4 years again, and with the present condition of Nigeria now, and with the four people that come out that everybody know them as a popular candidate, one of them happened to succeed President Buhari. For another 4 years, we'll be very, very happy because there are so many problems in Nigeria now.
They describe such election periods as historic moments, clamoring for change at every level.
There must be change now. If Peter Obi win, there must be change.
We are praying God for the normal candidate to win. The one that we carry in the heart is Peter Obi. So we are praying God to forward him to win the election of 2023.
They are disturbed by the growing inflation, corruption, insecurity, and many other problems that continue to impede the economy and affect the country's development. According to them, so many Nigerian citizens are suffering, reason why they are calling for their compatriots to choose the right candidates.
We are suffering for finance and food.
One of is insecurity, two is about foodstuff, many things.
I don't know their reason. They are afraid of maybe they may lose the election.
We have problem of terrorism. We have problem of inflation.
Unfortunately, the consulate has not given them the opportunity to cast their votes. According to them, it is a strategy to limit electoral fraud.
It's not our fault now. It's for our diasporas in Cameroon here. It's their fault because of fraud.
The election will then look for one to replace President Muhammadu Buhari as he is serving out the second mandate of his constitutionally permitted 2 4-year terms.
And that draws the curtain for this edition of the 6:50 News. I've been Kejang Henry Atembet, thanking you for being there with us throughout the week, and have a wonderful week ahead. Coming up is Mark Chamo with a debrief in sports. From all of us, it's goodbye.